Council meetings are long and boring. Wouldn't it be great if they were short and unboring? This is why I've invented the 5. Make it 10! 10-minute meeting! All right, Ashland City Council meeting of April 18th. This one starts off and says, Historic Preservation Week is May 14th to the 20th. So stop upgrading your kitchen for a week. I don't know. And proclamation that this one says, hey, whereas OSF is awesome, the city supports OSF, and so should you. And then this one again is with the Alan C. Banks Public Service Award for a city worker. Best public servant goes to Michael Dawkins. Wins this year for being on the Planning Commission for 19 years. And he's in the Garden Club and Nordic Club, and the state Senate, our state rep Pam Marsh, she says, oh man, Michael, he's a gem. And the old planning commissioner and an old county commissioner and an old city attorney and this one, they all said, oh, this guy's great. This guy's great. And then Michael Dawkins came up and he said, I grew up here and I'm going to be buried here and I love this town. That was nice. And then the Historic Advisory Committee annual update. So the committee leader later, she shows up and says, we review all building projects in the historic district. And there are 4 districts, by the way. There's a little map real quick. Look at that. That's what it is. And then we reviewed 3 planning applications, and we're having a May 17th awards ceremony and walking tours in honor of Historic Preservation Week. And then city manager Joe Lessard. He looks a lot like this guy. This looks great. Yeah, awesome. And he says permits have been issued for the 70-unit apartment complex to be built at 188 Garfield Street. That's a picture of that. And then also permits have been issued for 12-unit cottage development on Coffee Lane. That's a new street. That's a picture of it right here. Look at that. There you go. And then Molly Taylor is our interim human resources director. And Brandon Goldman, that's him right here. He is our official planning department leader now. He's the boss. Officially, I mean, we're looking for EMTs and to hire cops and to hire a city attorney and a deputy public works director. And Friday, April 21st, the city will participate in Earth Day. And this Wednesday night, there's going to be another emergency shelter open. And Friday, the Citizens Budget Committee begins. And then every Thursday after that, they meet. And on April 27th, the city's going to present its budget to this budget committee. And then on May 25th, there's a final city budget meeting, committee meeting. And then in June, the council will receive the results of that vote. So that's good stuff. And then consent agenda. The state has a grant program where cities can apply for grants, free money, of course, and to spend on buying or upgrading property in the city to help the homeless. And this one, so you're like, whoa. We'd have to do this by January 10th of 2024, and we need much more time to have endless meetings and talk in circles for months and months and then do nothing. Local government 101. I mean, the state just doesn't get it. And then the city planner, Brandon Goldman, says, he goes, well, actually, we're just asking a vote of the council so that we can apply for this grant. And it could be up to 67 shelter beds and 133 affordable transition apartments that we could, do some work for. And this one goes, hey, there's no federal or state law that we have to provide shelters, is there? And weird. And then this guy goes, no, but I think it was this guy. He goes, no, but if we don't, we can't make any homeless campers move their tents. That's kind of a federal thing. So, and then the housing lady says, she goes, this is meant to make you move faster. And this guy actually said, he goes, yeah, I moved to apply for this grant because it will force us to move faster. I'm on board with that. And then this one goes, whoa, let's just change some of the language though and make it as vague as possible, so there's less chance of actually getting this grant. And then this one goes where she goes, oh yeah, of course, more vague and more words. I'm on board with that. So all approved, whatever watered down language that was. And then the community development block grants. The housing lady came back. She's killing it this meeting. And she says, we got $179,000 from the feds. That's for HUD. And $36,000 of that goes to city administration. And only $26,000 of that can be used for general purposes. And the remaining $141,000, which includes funds left over from last year, has to be used on capital expenses like buildings, and buying land or whatever. And so the housing committee met and they said, hey, let's give $15,000 to the Maslow project. Those help kids, they're great. And $11,000 for Oregon's Helping Residents of Ashland, or whatever they are now. And then $11,000 to them. And then the $141,000 for building things to Aura for building a new kitchen And the Maslow lady said, we got to, she just came to talk, said, we got a family into the Snowberry low-income housing this year, and it was super satisfying. We're off near the YMCA off of Clay Street. And a fun fact, opposite of fun fact, not fun fact, but the wait list for those units is 3,600 people, 3,600 people for those low-cost Snowberry units. Interesting and sad. Then this one says, hey, can the Aura kitchen being built be shared by the city or others? And the housing lady said, yeah, that's part of the contract, but it's not like it's on wheels or anything. It's just, so it's not a food truck. All right, I got that. Just checking. And then this one goes, hey, can we mix the CBDBGB grant funds with those state grants you were talking about, and just make everything more confusing? And the housing lady and Joe Lassard, city manager Joe Lassard, said absolutely not. No, that's a terrible idea. And so then, so it was all approved. $15,000 goes to Maslow, $11,000 to Aura, and $141,000 to build a new kitchen at the Aura place. So that's all good. And then all approved. That was good. And then buying the private property up off of Alice in Wonderland trail. It's 20 acres of private property that Parks Director Michael Black is very hairy. He looks like this guy. And then he goes, hey, we have the $150,000 for 20 acres. That seems like pretty good. In SDC funds, we've got it. And the Alice in Wonderland trail has been crossing this private land where the owner could have closed the trail at any time. And now this way, it will all be open to the public and will continue along just as it has been. And that was all approved. And then, Chris Chambers, wildlife chief, is new. Who did he become? Oh, here he is. Hi. He looks like the kid in Peter Pan, right? A little bit. And then he goes, climate change addendum for the 2016 forest management plan. When we made that, we didn't take into account all the pace of climate change, and forests are dying, and our bark beetles are killing stressed trees. It's a disaster. And then another forest lands guy said, hey, we looked at data, and we went to the forest, we looked at stuff, and I'm a forester and stuff, and he came up with this 7-page addendum. And they never really explained what the changes were, but I read the thing, and I have a forestry degree from Michigan State, no shit, for real. And basically, rather than just thinning the forest around Ashland to minimize the risk of a super hot, fast fire storming down the hillside and into town, that was their original goal, I think. They're going to add to that work and remove patches of sicker trees and creating open spaces and burning the understory more frequently and preserving refugia. Refugia it means like small, isolated, healthy areas. Separate, homogeneous sections, and they'll be preserved while creating a patchwork of forests, more so. That's what I got from it. And then the public forum, a long-haired Forest Service chief lady, she used to manage 1 million acres in the southern Sierras, and she said that this plan has zero specifics, no timelines or maps or graphics, and the recent thinning along Alice in Wonderland proved that outreach is ineffective as best. People were upset they thinned a lot and they didn't really explain it too well. And then Chris Chambers, wildfire chief, says, we're also, by the way, we're not just cutting down trees and stuff, we're also planting a more understory to be more resilient for the heat. And more info will come with each project. More info coming. And then this one goes, she actually goes, she's the boss. Here she goes, hey, public engagement is a super important part of this. And then this guy comes and goes, yeah, you got to keep that public engagement up, and I support this, but it's pretty general. I'm really looking forward to info on all these specific projects. I thought it was all approved. And then the second reading of the language change, preparing for the food and beverage tax that's on the ballot, going 100% to parks. Apparently, they're pretty confident it's going to win because they've already rewriting the language and pre-passing it. And so there's a public forum, and a lady in a hoodie said, I'm against it. I mean, this ordinance is terrible, so why bother passing this second reading of something that I don't even think should happen anyway? And it was all approved, but this one is against it. 5-1, not all approved, but approved. And then Public Works Director Scott Fleury. He looks like this guy's got a big beard, right? And he goes, hey, there's a contract amendment for new pipes at the dam and water treatment plant, and the price went up because FERC, the Federal Energy Regulation Company, requires there's totally new requirements just came out of the blue. So we need $210,000 more. oh, that's a pretty good chunk. And then this one goes, hey, is this budgeted? Didn't you have something I'm curious about whether or not? And then this one jumped in, of course, and she goes, water is important, and you are important, and blah, 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 blah. She went on for a while. And then this one goes, she goes, so it seems like the kind of thing that should have been addressed in like a contingency fund or the kind of thing. And this one goes, well, it's just a bridge too far. Because one part is building a bridge. That's why I said it that way. He didn't say that, I did. And then he says, when FERC asks for new things, we don't like negotiate. We just come to you and say, please write checks. All approved. And then Deputy City Manager Sabrina Cotta, delightful, looks like this, I'd say. And then she said, the City Manager Joe Lassard is up for review. And we did a review of him, and he passed his review. And this one says, oh yeah, man, that Joe, he's good. He's a good one. And then this guy, new guy goes, here he is. He goes, oh yeah, good one, Joe. Way to go. And then this one says, hey, there's the newsletter. The newsletter is going into the utility bill again. Thank you to the staff, and that was it. End of meeting. You're welcome.